everybody exactly how things actually work, not just how the mythical, everything's great. That's not the way it is. So, our normal deal is we would be dyno an engine, and when we get close to the end of the dyno, then we do come in, cover the dyno, and then talk about the engine. This small block has got a little bit of a problem. This small block has got a little bit of a problem. So I figured, you know what? It's a good educational tool and good thing for everybody to look at and to explain something that is going on. So we start this thing up, dyno it, and all of a sudden it starts falling over and it's losing horsepower. So we're just working on tune. Kyle's dyno it. We're working on tune. By the way, this is a small block Chevrolet blow-through carburetor on C16. So it's not making a ton of horsepower, but it's, you know, non-intercooled C16. C16 is the non-intercooled fuel. Do not use Q16 without an intercooler. So right fuel, trying to make, you know, in that 1400 horsepower area, and it was at like 1300. Then all of a sudden it started nosing over. So I tell Kyle, hey, well, just go in there because the spark plugs look reasonable. There's no problem there. Everything looks good. Go in, just check valve lash and check some stuff. No valve lash. It's like, ooh, that's weird. Why is there no valve lash? Potentially lashed wrong the first time, don't know. I said, here's the deal. I said, adjust it cold to where it normally is, 22 thousandths on this, and then we'll bring it up to temperature, get it up to normal operating dyno temperature. We'll then check the valve lash. Everything was all good. It was 25 when the thing was warm. Said, okay, sweet. Make another dyno pull on it. Make a dyno pull. Still lays over. Come in and check the valve lash immediately because what I wanted to see are the valves tuliping. So tuliping of the valve is, wish I should have a valve here. I don't have a valve here in my hand. Let me grab a valve. All right, grab the valve here for you. So tuliping is where this valve starts basically, because of cylinder pressure, pushing right here in the center of the valve, cylinder pressure, and actually makes this valve head go whoop and tulip. All right, starts pulling it through. So our valve lash obviously now is going away since we just made one pull on it and the valve lash went away on it. So obviously the valves that we have in this engine are not any good and are tuliping. So if you have something where the valve lash continues to go away, where it gets less and less and less, usually the only thing that ever causes that is the valve is actually getting longer. It's actually pulling the valve apart. So if you just kept on going, it would just literally just keep on pulling the valve right directly apart. So unfortunately, all part of the game, we're gonna have to get the cylinder heads off of this thing and take a look at the valves, see what the heck is going on with them. They are actually valves that were supplied, I believe, with these cylinder heads. So we're gonna have to do a valve change on this. So another one of those joys of doing business and making things right. So we're going to end up having to take this all apart, not all apart, take this apart and change the intake valves, get it all back on the dyno, and then re-dyno. But thought I'd give you some good tech on how this stuff works, common things that we have to go through on the engine business, and things that we fix, make right when they're getting dynoed. Another little side note is, I mean, these were a good quality valve. Like I said, I'll do a little background on it and see what it is, but I didn't supply my valves for this. I used somebody else's stuff. Got the engine all apart here. So this is the engine that I showed you that was just tuliping the valve. And I'm going to show you exactly what that means. So we have new valves. Kyle's over there putting the cylinder heads together right now. I'm gonna go show you how they lengthen and exactly why they do that. So let's go in the back and I'll show you on the tool setting fixture. The tool gauge set up here. So this is the fixture. We'll use the brand new valve and we'll set that at 0. So the new valve, I'll show you what the difference is here in just a minute. So that's at 0. Come over here, we'll put this one in. Now what you see, the bigger deal is the difference. So that's 55 thousandths on that one. 0 on that one. So I mean, this one is exactly the same. Has not tulipped at all. This one, 35. That's longer. This one, whoops, 32. 12, 22, 37. Now that's an overall length. What you can see, so we only had one valve that wasn't tulipped. Coincidence is all I could probably say there. Now if you grab these two valves, it's interesting that it appears that this was the valve that came from not the econo valve, but this is the standard. There we go. The standard valve that came with the cylinder heads. And then they offer a upgraded, stronger valve that apparently was not taken the first time. So that is what we have now. So I'm going to be comparing these valves up just a little bit and make sure that everything is good. It's supposed to be the higher grade material, etc. And so what happens here is you have all the cylinder pressure. Very rarely does an exhaust valve tulip, and the exhaust valves don't tulip because they're so much thicker right here. So a lot of material right in this area in the valve stem, and the head is much thicker. If you compare it there, you can see it's quite a bit thicker and smaller diameter, so it makes it quite a bit stronger. So when these valves, and an intake valve in particular, has a lot of cylinder pressure, some temperature, cylinder pressure, what it's doing is it's seating right here like that. All the cylinder pressure is pushing right in the very center. You got valve spring, you got everything else going on all at the same time, and it literally is cupping, pulling this right up like that, or we call it tuliping. So that's exactly what's going on. That is what some, if you ever hear the terminology tuliping, tulipped a valve, cupped a valve, pulling through a valve. If your valve lash is going away and getting tighter, there is nothing ever that makes valve lash tighter other than misadjustment, or you have a valve that's tuliping. So we're going to go over, and Kyle is putting the cylinder heads together with the new valves. I'll take this valve back over there for him, and this new exhaust valve back over there for him, and we will get this thing back together, back on the dyno, and show you the results, and hopefully, Lord willing, we'll have no more tuliping on these valves. So we have this thing all back together. I just showed you how the valves tulip, how they pull, what's going on, how you're diagnosing that, what to look for, making sure that you're really keeping track of some of that kind of stuff. This big horsepower stuff does that. Crazy. So we have it all together. This engine, by the way, this engine is for JB Boyer. They're out of the Detroit area, and I can tell you the truth, I can't remember what car this goes in, but this was a nitrous engine conversion. So sent it over with nitrous. We did the F2 non-intercooled blow-through carburetor, as simple as you can get. So distributor, simple MSD ignition, simple blow-through carburetor, non-intercooled, and we're going to do a pump gas and race gas tune-up for it. In fact, you can even see the alternators because he's going to be doing some driving with it. Now, this is obviously small block Chevrolet, AFR cylinder heads. We changed crankshaft, pistons, so it has our piston package in it, and has our camshaft package, and we upgraded his valve train. So you just saw, if you look back just a little bit, you see it's got Jessel rocker arms on it. Just make this thing more durable kind of piece. Now this camshaft is in just a little bit of free tech for you guys, the camshafts, and because I can give you general numbers, and general numbers really don't end up meaning anything. because it doesn't fit the load profile. If you want to see anything about that, go to any of my Steve Tech camshaft videos where I talk in detail about it. But this is in the 260s and 270s duration. I think we probably could have put maybe just a tick more camshaft in it, but then the heads get a little bit small and it's non-intercooled. Probably the biggest part of this deal is being non-intercooled is really hot air. So this thing will make in the range of probably about 300 plus degree air temperature. And so if we had a really good water to air intercooler, which is very impractical for street driving by the way, but a really good water to air intercooler and had air inlet temperatures in the 100 degree and less range, these things will pick up 300 horsepower. I mean, it is freaking insane. So that's just a little bit of tech there for you. This thing's going to be a nice piece for JB for sure. So we're going to go out, make a pull on this thing, show you the numbers, and then we've already done the pump gas pull, so I'm not going to show you everything we did there, but these are the pulleys that we did for it. So it's a pulley change. This pulley setup goes on it, and we put the filter on it, and then this thing is driving around on pump gas, just driving around making that 1,000 plus horsepower. Nice. That's a good safe spot for it, and it's very hard to hook up 1,000 horsepower on the street anyways. So that's what we do there. Then he has the race setup, which you're going to change the pulley. It's using the same belt, and never make a change to the carburetor. Just going to change timing. Now, before we go out there and make that pull, why is it we're not changing jets in the carburetor or changing the fuel in the carburetor? Let me think. Tell you why. Carburetors are really old technology, but they work just amazingly well in this area. Okay, they're not infinity. You can't make 5,000 horsepower, 4,000, 3,000 horsepower with them. That's just not practical. But in this area, they have a really sweet spot. And one of the really neat things about a carburetor is if you move more air, i.e. blower, the more air you move, speed the blower up. The more air you move, air goes past the venturi, pulls fuel from the booster, it pulls more fuel automatically. Automatically. You move more air, it moves more fuel. Now, there might be some little bit of trim you could do in there, but in general, the carburetor is almost self-calibrating. It's pretty amazing. Once it's set, once it's working in a good operational range, changes like moving boost and stuff around, it does an amazing job of self-calibration. So that's it for all the tech stuff. Let's go out here and make a pull on this thing. I'll show you all the numbers. So, just made that pull. 1410 at 7,600. Nice, solid piece. Super happy with that. Let's go look at boost. Should be 27.39. So 27 pounds of boost. All right. Now, go back and I'll show you the pump gas tune on it. So that's pretty reasonable numbers. I like that. It's still hot. Like I said, you know, it's a big deal when you have all that heat. But now I'll show you the pump gas tune where we change the pulleys, knock a little more timing out of it, leave the carburetor the same. I'll go grab that one because we had done that one earlier. Let's see. Now, here's the pump gas tune. And we can see we're at 1,058 at 6,900, basically 7,000 RPM. And boost wise, we're at 17 pounds of boost. So real nice solid number right through there. O2s look good, everything looks really nice through that whole area. So I think that's a really nice piece for JB. I think he's gonna really enjoy it. And always remember all the little tech tips I gave you there, the tuliping of the valves, but this thing is a pretty nice solid piece for non-intercooled blow-through carburetor. So anyways, don't forget merchandise, all the other stuff that we got. Just look right down below and you can see all the stuff that we got. Have new things that are going to be coming in. So make sure you like, subscribe, and tell others about the channel. I'm Steve Morris. Have a great day.